left the Jehovah's Witnesses. And I just want to clarify a couple of things before I get started on the purpose of this video and some things that I'm going to be talking about. So the purpose of this video, I do have an outline. Maybe that's the JW in me, but if you see me looking over, I do have an outline so I can keep. I don't celebrate birthdays. They ask me why, and I give them my explanations. And you know what they would do? They would go, okay, let's hang out another time. That's it. They didn't try to pull me to celebrate birthdays. They didn't try to pull me into drugs. They didn't try to pull me into anything. They respected my beliefs the same way I respected them. So this is when things started. I keep doing this. I don't know what that means, but things started to change a little bit because I realized, hold on, these people are good people. They care for me. They respect my beliefs. And the contrast versus what I was told my whole life that, no, this wasn't going to happen. I'm looking at all these people that lived it. Some of them Christians, some of them atheists, some of them different religious groups, some of them part of the LGBTQ community, but they're still treating me like a human being, and I can still treat them like a human being. So that was the start of it. That was the start of the major dominoes of I don't want to call them doubts, because it's hard to explain the thought process that I was going through, because I never sat there and thought, oh, I can have friends outside of the organization, so that must mean the organization is a lie. It wasn't that linear, but it was the start of something that I couldn't even understand in the moment. So again, that was the start of the major dominoes, and let's keep going. So again, this is where things started to really, this is where I started doubting. So the disfellowshipping update, that really wasn't an update. So when I never doubted anything being a witness. I always believed, but the idea of disfellowshipping never sat right with me. Now, I shunned like a good witness is supposed to shun, but it's still here. I thought, there's something off about this. So I honestly hoped that one day there's going to be an adjustment. There's going to be that term, new light. So we get the update. And I believe this update was paired with the beards and pants update. You can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But we get to it. And when the governing body is going to announce an update or a change doctrinally, they start to lead up to it. They talk about certain scriptures or certain things we've done in the past. So I remember sitting in the Kingdom Hall looking at this video, and my heart is pounding, because I know they're talking about disfellowshipping now, because they've mentioned the scriptures that usually witnesses go to with disfellowshipping. My heart is pounding. I'm thinking, oh my goodness, they're going to adjust the disfellowshipping. I was so excited. And then they tell us, so we've changed the name from disfellowshipping to removing. If somebody comes into the hall, they're removed, you can say a brief greeting, but not an extended conversation. And they can come back faster. And that was it. That was it. I just sat there, and I'm looking at the Kingdom Hall, and my heart's broken. Because I'm thinking, that's not a change. That's not a change. You guys just adjusted the name, and okay, big whoop, I can still say hi. I can say hi to you, but I can't have a conversation with you at the Kingdom Hall. That was one of the first big things for me. It just blew my mind, honestly. So yeah, that really bothered me. But again, I'm still in, so I just say, okay, calm down. Not conform, but just accept the direction from the governing body, because I still believe it's the true religion. Just because I might be personally upset with the changes, or not upset, but not wanting it to be the way I want to, is like still believe, still trust the governing body. So then, again, I was part of the HLC. I was not like in the HLC in the sense of, because I wasn't an elder, but I would get invited to the seminars. about what the HLC is about. And one meeting I was on AV, and I'm not going to try not to share too much personal information about this brother's experience because I don't want to expose anyone's personal information, but he shared this experience about a family member they had and how they were struggling with the idea of the blood issue. Because if you don't know what the HLC does, Health Liaison Committee, they are a committee of brothers. If your family member or someone you know that is a witness gets committed into a hospital, then these brothers are in charge of taking care of, making sure that this brother or sister is taken care of. Now, they're not just for blood, which the positive part is, even if you just get put in the hospital for like a broken arm, it's nice that, there's a brother assigned to you, so that's positive. But it was very clear that the main focus of the HLC was the blood. I remember one seminar we were told that they have slideshows and they go to hospitals and they meet with doctors, like I'm talking like 20, 30, 40, 50 doctors in a room, and they show them these slides and explain to the doctors why they don't accept blood as witnesses. So the main focus was blood, and this brother that I'm watching on the stage give an experience is talking about his family member, and he mentions very quickly that on their family member they forced a blood transfusion. They forced a blood transfusion. And I know that family member is still alive. And he's emotional on stage, and the interview ends, and I just couldn't help think to myself, I'm in the back of doing the AV, and I just couldn't help think to myself, how is that encouraging? We're told as witnesses that accepting blood or accepting whole blood fractions in its 4 parts is against the will of God. Yet here we have this man who the doctors forced a blood transfusion on his family member. Thankfully they did, because they're still here. And I couldn't stop thinking that. And I thought, why am I being trained